This is Teaching for Women. So I wanted to talk about idolatry, which is the sin unto death in 1 John 5. The sin he dares not pray for. Little children, keep yourselves from idolatry. So this December 25th, thousands and thousands and thousands of Christians are going to do the sin unto death idolatry. They're going to have a tree in their house and do Jeremiah 10 Christmas. And just to let you guys know, Deuteronomy chapter 5, when Jehovah gave his commandments, he tells you, those who do idolatry hates him. Hates him.
I hate my sister.
And Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 9 and 10, he tells you, those who hate him, he will pay them to their face. For he is a jealous God. And then I hear Christians say, well, that was never given to the Gentiles. It was given to the Gentiles, Acts 15. They were to refrain from idolatry, fornication, things strangled in the blood, which is don't do idolatry and eat clean. The Noah covenants, refraining from the blood in Genesis 9. And then they were to go into on the synagogues on the Sabbath day, dawn Saturday to dawn Sunday, and learn what Moses wrote, who wrote that the Messiah would refresh the covenant at Horeb in Deuteronomy 18, 15 through 19, give his father's commandments. Matthew 22, verse 36 through 40. He was asked, what are the two greatest commandments in the law? You know, the law that was already written. Because Isaiah, the prophet, prophesied that Yeshua would magnify the law, make it honorable in Isaiah 42:21. He magnified two commandments in the old law. To love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, which is the first commandment with promise in Ephesians 6, 1 through 3, to honor your father and your mother, because he quoted Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5 verbatim. And Deuteronomy chapter 6 will tell you to honor your father and your mother in the Lord is to keep the commandments in your heart and teach them to your children, and it will be your righteousness if you do all the commandments which the Lord thy God has commanded thee. Your righteousness. And his second commandment is Leviticus 19, 15 through 18, to do righteous judgments. Do no unrighteousness in judgment. Don't judge by your own hypocrisy, that your self-righteousness that you've created. Don't smoke, don't curse, don't drink. No, judge by the righteousness of God, the 10 Commandments. Don't hate your neighbor in your hearts, but anyways rebuke them when you see them sin, so they don't suffer sin upon them, so they can repent and turn back to God. Love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. Yeshua's second great commandments. We're all the law. And prophets hang on those two commandments, because the prophets prophesied he would give you those commandments. Moses told you that Jehovah would send his son in his name, giving us commandments that he will require of you. But you Christians have turned the grace of God into lasciviousness, Jude 1:4, which is even worse. You don't just do idolatry, the sin unto death, the thing that he says that if you do it, you hate him. Then you use the grace of God that he gave you freely. It was a free gift in Titus 2 to teach you to deny sin, ungodliness and lust of this world, so you can live soberly and righteously, keeping his righteousness, the 10 commandments. And you say that you're delivered to do those abominations, Jeremiah 7, because you're saved by lasciviousness, Jude 1:4. You've turned the grace of God into undeserved favor.
I have a flag for the
Spitting in his face.
It's that.
And then you have the audacity to say, well, he knows my heart. He knows your heart all right. You hate him. He tells you multiple times throughout the Bible, if you love me, keep my commandments. His son in John 14, if you love me, keep my commandments, and then I will abide with you. You reject the spirit of truth because you do the sin unto death, idolatry. You don't keep the commandments, so he doesn't pray to the Father. He doesn't abide with you because you hate him. And then you have the audacity to say, well, he knows my heart. Yeah, he knows your heart all right. You do the thing which he says if you do, you hate him. And then you spit in his face and say that his grace is a license for you to hate him. License for you to sin. He says, don't worship me with your hands, but in spirit and in truth. And you say, no, I'm going to hate you and worship with my hands, doing idolatry, the sin unto death. He knows your heart. It's sottish, a heart of stone, who will not circumcise their hearts to want to do the will of God and love him as he commanded us. Love him as he says that you should love him, by keeping his commandments. 1 John 5, for this is the love of God, to keep his commandments. You say, no, I will not. I'm saved by lasciviousness, favor. I can do these abominations. I can hate Jehovah. Chew on that for a while. Because Isaiah 65 Isaiah 65 and 66. Those sanctifying themselves in their own righteousness, saying that sin is drinking, smoking, cursing, but at the same time filling your vessels with swine's flesh and abominations, doing pagan idolatry, the thing that if you do, you hate him, and saying that you're delivered to do those things because you've turned the grace of God into lasciviousness, sinning despite on his spirit of grace, and counting the covenant his son was sanctified that he gave you with his 2 great commandments in Matthew 22, and calling them an unholy thing. Grouping it with the sacrificial law, the law of sin and death that Moses wrote with his hand in a book in Deuteronomy 31:24. You hate him. Just admit it. You hate him. That's what you're doing. And then you have the audacity to tell people, oh, well, he knows your heart. He does. He searches the hearts and the reins, and he knows your heart. It's utterly wicked. And you could give a rat's ass about his commandments, how he says to love you and his children in 1 John 5. For this is how you love the children of God, when you keep his commandments.